Awesome to have you here on the podcast, Lucas.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate you for having me on, and yeah, this is pretty spontaneous. We just met, and now we're here. So
yeah, just met at the gym. Anton was the one that just introduced us. Then we met at the gym, had a great session, took some food, and was like, "Fuck, let's just shoot a podcast."
Yeah,
right?
let's just do it.
Yeah, let's do it. So it's really cool to see you. Like, you've been here in Bali for a while now, right?
Yeah, me and Anton came 1.5 weeks ago, so we've been enjoying the beautiful life Bali has to offer for 1.5 weeks, and we're gonna be here for a month. So yeah,
that's lovely.
Yeah, the good life.
Yeah, and what's the plan after Bali?
Sorry?
What's the plan after Bali?
So the plan after Bali is gonna be to get back to home base for a couple of days probably, then heading to maybe Thailand or something with a girlfriend. Gonna show her some love as well, because she didn't like the idea of me going away for a month. So you know, I'll have to compensate a bit flying her to Thailand. And after that, it's full training camp. As I told you earlier, I'm actually doing an Ironman this summer, so I wanted a proper challenge, and I'm like, okay, what's the most badass thing we can do?
Yeah.
Never run a marathon, never done anything like this. Let's just go all in and do the most the most crazy thing you can do, which is a full Ironman. So yeah, it's gonna be training camp for a couple months after that, but it's gonna be fun.
That's going to be awesome, and we'll dive into that Ironman as well later. But before that, I want to talk a little bit about, you know, what you're actually doing. You know, because you just mentioned how you can go travel here, you can go travel there, and you're an online coach, right? You want to tell us a little bit about yourself and, you know, what you're doing and how you kind of got there.
Yeah. So exactly as you just said, I'm a online health and fitness coach. I'm helping people get healthy, not just training and food, as a lot of other people in this space do. I try to kind of fix the whole, or provide something that I guess solves the whole puzzle, right? Because there's so much more to health and to feeling good than just going to the gym and eating. We want to fix the whole lifestyle, right? That's where true health comes. So that's what I do. How did I end up here? Well, long story. I'll try to make this long story short. I can tell you the exact day that everything just changed for me. So this was after, I don't know if you can say it anymore, the C word.
Yeah.
Yeah. The summer after the big lockdown, I'd been incorporating or doing every single bad habit you can think about, having no structure at all, being super unhealthy, eating all the processed food, and just been doing nothing for almost a year. And one day in the beginning of summer 2021, me and my friends decided to go just play football or soccer, just as we've been always doing, right? Just a random day. Summer was beginning of summer, sun was out as well. It was starting to get warm. Naturally, everyone started to take their shirts off, right?
Yeah.
And my, I guess, bad habits and bad food choices definitely were shown in my visual appearance, so to say. And I remember being made fun of from a couple of my friends and being like, we have this word in Sweden, chipstuttar, you know what I mean? Man boobs.
Yeah.
And on that pitch the same day, one of my other friends had been like locked in for a year. He had been going to the gym, eating good and doing all these things. And I got so fucking motivated seeing that guy.
Yeah.
I was like, whoa, is this what you can accomplish in a year if you put your mind to something?
Yeah.
So on that day, on the football pitch, signed up to the gym, 1 year upfront, no trial, 1 month trial, whatever, do this, whatever. I have to make a change.
Yeah. Full commitment.
Full commitment, no second thoughts, just on the spot decided to sign up for the gym 1 year. That same day, later on in the day, was the first time I also stepped into the gym.
Also.
So, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I've always kind of been this guy that if I decide to do something, I view it as this is all in or nothing. Before health and the gym, it was gaming actually, believe it or not. So I was really good at Fortnite and FIFA, yeah. Like I played with some of the top guys, some of the top names in that space when I was younger. Same thing with FIFA. I hit like top 100 weekend league for like consistently. So before this, it was gaming. Like I just laser focus 110%, and yeah, I'm glad the table turned now towards, I guess, health and well-being and taking care of myself. But yeah, that's a bit of a long story short. Or that was kind of what kick-started everything for me.
I get it. It's crazy that you like mentioned like gaming and having that kind of like, I guess, all-in personality with like almost like an addiction.
Yeah.
Because I was the exact same thing. Like I was fucking addicted to gaming. I wasn't playing Fortnite. I was playing Counter-Strike and League of Legends. Shout out to the League of Legends. But I was like so addicted to it. And I just was also like one day just I switched it off, the addiction to the gaming, and I got like addicted to business and health instead, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like that's a common trait that people have. I speak to a lot of like entrepreneurs, and they're like the common trait is that a lot of them were like addicted to like this like gaming or something stupid like that, and then they just kind of switched it over to another addiction. So like health or business or whatever that is. So it's really cool that you kind of mentioned that, and I think it's also really cool that you've had that great personal kind of transformation already, like for yourself, and especially now that you have clients, they actually have a coach that have been in the fucking dirt, right, in the trenches, and having an unhealthy lifestyle and just hating quote unquote your life basically. That's putting words into your mouth, but I can imagine it was pretty hard having to see yourself in that position, right? So I think that's really good that you've kind of gone through that transformation.
Yeah, and to just add up on that as well, as you said, like this is something that I tell people all the time as well. You don't know how good you can feel until you like get there, right? Yeah. Because when I was kind of stuck in these bad habits or everything, like I had some bad mental thoughts and just generally like such a low vibrational frequency, right? Yeah. And when you get out of it, that's when you start to realize like, oh shit, I actually felt pretty terrible, so to say. So, yeah.
No, I agree, and I think that's something that people don't realize. Like they live life here. It's very like stagnant, and this is the baseline.
100%.
And then you can kind of fix your health, and then you peak up here, and then this is your new baseline. So you feel like much better all the time. But if you haven't been up there, then you don't know that you can actually get there, right?
100%, and that's also a thing that people never get there because of a couple of different reasons. Number one, it takes our body, I usually say around 2 weeks to just clear out the system or just like get rid of all the bullshit.
Yeah.
So the problem for most people is that they never go that period of time without reintroducing some bad thing, whether that's alcohol, whether that's processed food, whether that's anything. So they never get out of it, even though if they think, most people think they're healthy, right? Okay, I eat good, I do this, whatever, but I have my processed protein shake or I have my sip of alcohol every week, and just once a week, it doesn't really matter, right? Yeah. You're never letting yourself, like, it's like holding yourself in a chain, right? And you're never letting go of that. Yeah. If you don't let your body kind of naturally clean, get rid of everything, that's when everything just goes nuclear. So. Yeah.
What do you think is like the biggest reason for that people just don't realize it? That they can get better, and what's kind of the biggest thing that's holding them back in general that you see?
It's a very good question. It's also a very hard question. I don't know. I think society paints this picture of this is how you should be, and therefore the easy thing is to just, okay, let's fit into that kind of position or to that painted picture, or I don't really know how I should explain this, but I think you understand what I mean.
Yeah, I understand.
And it's always going to be so hard to take the other route, especially in the beginning, because if we just take the example of eating and not drinking alcohol and whatever, and trying to stay away from processed food and sweets and stuff, it sucks in the beginning. It's so hard. Yeah. I know this from my own experience as well. I tried to clean everything up for such a long time until it got to the point where I actually managed to get out. And now looking back at things, it's more so I look at something that someone else would consider, oh, this is the best thing I know, like a cookie, whatever.
Yeah.
I look at that like, am I really gonna let this enter into my like holy temple?
Yeah.
Not a chance, because I know what all the small little ingredients in there is going to do to my system as well, and how it's gonna fuck me up.
Yeah.
It's never worth it.
Exactly.
But to get to that point, it takes time, and it's definitely hard.
Yeah.
And people, I guess, are a bit afraid of taking the hard decision or putting themselves through hardship.
Yeah, it's hard to do hard stuff, right?
Yeah.
So I mean, that is just how it is, and especially like with this, I think in today's society, it's very like, how do you say it, like short-term thinking.
Yes.
Okay, I have a cookie in front of me. I'm gonna feel good right the second I eat it. Oh, okay. Then I eat it. They feel shit afterwards. Okay, I can eat another cookie. Then I'll feel good again, right? And you'll always kind of have that short-term, dopamine basically.
Yes.
And then instead of actually just thinking, okay, I'm getting better long-term, right? Getting that happiness and just, dopamine long-term basically from actually feeling good. What are some like action steps you think people could take then for like actually getting started into this health journey that you kind of have taken?
Separate your emotions from your current like situation. Just going back to what you just said there as well. You have to separate your emotions right now and understand, okay, what is the actual goal here? And even though you feel like just taking this cookie is not going to make the difference, whatever, it's one cookie.
Yeah.
This is what's going to make the difference. You have to constantly separate your current emotions from, and like just taking your mind back to, okay, what's the long-term vision here? What's the actual goal? What action steps do I need to be taking today in order to get there?
Yeah.
Is eating cookie going to get me there? You can't have a cookie, right?
Yeah. Oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense. And it's funny that you like mentioned earlier a bit about the protein shakes. Because I told you before the flight here, I down like 4 scoops of protein. Gotta hit my protein target. And I've always been like, I gotta hit my protein, typical like bodybuilder, powerlifter kind of thing, like protein. Don't care how I get it, just if I look in MyFitnessPal and it says I hit my target, let's fucking go. Yeah. But what are your thoughts about like protein powder, general like supplements, and are there any supplements you take? And there's kind of 2 questions there.
Yeah, so it's a very broad question, and the biggest problem here is that in the supplement space and in the supplement industry, I usually call this like it's cocaine money, right? The margins on supplements are absolutely ridiculous.
Yeah.
99.9% of all supplements there's on the market is absolute garbage. It's bullshit powders from China, cheap ingredients.
Yeah.
It's gonna fuck you up more than it helps you out.
Yeah.
So as for protein powders, the biggest problem there is that first of all, there's usually in a regular protein powder, it's a lot of sweeteners, it's a lot of fillers. It's also probably pretty bad quality whey, where they source, I guess, their whey from, or the milk or the dairy. You don't know. You put your trust into a company that the only real objective they have is to just make a lot of ton of money, right? Yeah. So you put your trust into that. I usually say that if there is like a boardroom of people behind what you're about to put into your mouth, you probably shouldn't be putting it into your mouth, because once again, the only kind of thing that they have on their mind is how should we make this as cheap as possible so we can make the most amount of money, and also how should we make it as addictive as possible, right? And then just push some bullshit marketing. Maybe it's, we have to hit our protein window 30 minutes after the workout, you have to have a protein shake, whatever it might be, and then just push this to some random influencer with that's roided up like crazy, and just whatever. It's a really bad industry, but there's some good companies doing good things as well, as with all industries, I would say. I don't really know, now I started to rant, to kind of go away from your question, but back to what I was saying. In general, supplements are not good. Also, a big common mistake that I see amongst a lot of people is that they just supplement for the sake of supplementing, which is not good. You should get bloods done. You should supplement for deficiencies. So one common thing around the whole world right now is this soil quality, soil degradation, which means that we are naturally, even though we are eating healthy, it's kind of a just smash in the face for people to understand that shit, I'm probably not even getting the minerals I should be getting and the vitamins I should be getting because of the fact that the soil quality is so shit nowadays. So generally, supplementing with minerals is like at the top of my list always. Some of my favorite ones to supplement with are boron. That's one that I think everyone should be taking. And then also obviously magnesium. So those are my two I guess favorite ones. Besides that, I also do some herbs: fenugreek, tonkat ali, Fedoria agrestis, ashwagandha I think is good as well. Creatine, of course. Yeah, that's probably my favorite ones. But most importantly, you have to source a good quality brand.
Yeah.
And that's what it all comes down to in the end of the day. Quality is most important.
That makes total sense. And I really like the framing that you took on that. Like, if there's a boardroom behind it, then you don't use it. And it's like so true because, you know, me as a business owner, I get it. Like, I get it fully. That like I talk to a lot of people and I see a lot of people, and it's always like, okay, how can we make money? And it's kind of the same thing about just, you know, the fast food industry as well. You know, okay, they want to make it as addictive as possible, and they want to make their margins as good as possible, right? So it kind of tailors over to the supplement industry in one way, and that's something I don't think people think too much about, but of course it is. So yeah, that's a really good framing of it as well, actually.
And same thing there. If we were to drive to McDonald's right now, ask the people in the drive-through line, do you think this is healthy for you? Do you think this is good for you? No. They would say no. Yeah. But they're still there. Yeah. Because they are addicted.
Yeah, exactly. It's weird that you know, people get so fucking addicted to it, right? And I think that's a sad way of doing it. But that's something I like about Bali, is that it's so easy to get like organic good food and yeah. So what is your kind of diet day to day look like here on Bali and in general in life? What do you try to focus on?
So my main sources of the list is not that long, so I can run you through it. My protein sources are a good quality grass-fed beef. It's pasture-raised eggs. It is good quality dairy, ideally raw. So my favorite ones that I get is raw kefir or raw milk, but also maybe some good quality Greek yogurt and stuff like this, and also raw cheese, fantastic. Chicken, if I can find a good source, right? I don't want my chicken to be fed grains and corn and soy and all these things, but if I can find good quality chicken, I can eat that as well. Also wild-caught fish, although it's very hard to find in Sweden, very, very hard. That's my protein sources. Carbs, I stick to organic sourdough bread, organic potatoes, organic jasmine rice, fruit, honey, maple syrup, and yeah, that's about it. Some fat sources as well: olive oil, avocado, butter, ghee, tallow, coconut oil. Yeah, that probably adds up. And then for fruits, I love fruit, so just whatever. Give me any fruit, I'll eat it. And it kind of looks the same here now in Bali, because once again, as you just said, it's so easy. The lifestyle here is amazing. We just went to a restaurant called Open House a couple hours ago. You know, pick your protein source, pick your carb source, pick whatever fruit you want to have, pick the sauce. All sauces are made with olive oil, so no seed oils, no bullshit. Yeah.
No, it's great.
Life's good.
That's a pretty short list of foods. Yeah. Pretty easy to go shopping.
Yeah,
you know exactly what you want.
It is.
That's good. And so, to the Ironman that you said you were training for, what was the reason that you just fuck it, sign up for it?
Probably felt a bit comfortable, to be honest. So I felt like, okay, I'm probably never gonna say that I'm satisfied with my physique. Obviously, you always want to look better, right? I'm not gonna lie, but I feel like, okay, I am at a pretty good position here. What are some things that I think is hard or challenging? swimming was very, very scary in the beginning. Why I even jumped in the water in the first place was because one of my friend back home, and he's also gonna do the Ironman this year with me. He did something called a svensk klassiker, Swedish classic,
Okay.
which it's basically you do a swim, you do Vasaloppet, you do Vättern around, which is a crazy bike ride. It's like a couple of Swedish competitions, and you tick all of them in a year's time frame, and then you've completed the Swedish classic. So we got into the water and just for like cardio purpose started to swim a bit. And the first time we jumped in, I had crampings in my hands because I was like holding my hands together like crazy or whatever. We went a couple 100 meters and I got back up from that and we were like, Ironman 3.8k swim, I'm gonna drown. This is never gonna work. And then I was like, and that's exactly what I'm after. That's exactly the feeling I want to have. I want to have something like this should almost scare you when you stand there and be like, oh, am I really gonna do this? Because once again, I have like I've been training. I play football as well, just for fun. But I haven't really had any like proper challenge to work for and like a proper objective. Okay, this is when I'm gonna do exactly this, or this is what I'm working for right now. And I felt like I just wanted that, something that made me really, really uncomfortable, which it absolutely did. It still does right now. But yeah, hopefully we get back home after a couple weeks abroad, and then it's training camp, lock in, just tunnel vision up until the race. So yeah, we're probably gonna get it done, or we're gonna get it done. But yeah, it's gonna be tough.
When is it?
There's a half distance one coming up in the beginning of July, and then the full distance is in the middle of August, both in Sweden. So I'm doing both.
Yeah, so you got some time to prepare.
Yeah, but you know, people usually take like 9 to 10 months to properly prep for this. Yes, I've been swimming a bit, getting that going, bought a bike. Bikes are crazy expensive, by the way. Yeah, that's.
I biked when I was like 14. I can't remember how you fucking even go on it.
A proper triathlon bike. Like there's some crazy bikes out there. And then running as well. Yes, of course, you've been doing like football. You've been doing some cardio training there as well. But like swimming and biking, that's completely new to me. Like never done in my life. So that's kind of the biggest, I guess, focus, or those are the biggest focus points. And also just finding the kind of the structure of combining that with also weight training, because obviously I don't just want to cold turkey stop lifting weights.
No, of course.
So having to find kind of a structure where both supports each other as well has been very, very interesting. And I think also it's very, very good for me to kind of have that my own experience of that, because that also will help me to implement that into clients as well.
Yeah, of course. I mean, that's something that I think a lot of coaches kind of lack. Is of course I also work with a lot of coaches, as you know, in the agency that I run. And I see the main trait that we kind of look for in our clients as well is that they're a good coach, right? And then again, the main trait they have is that they've actually kind of done the work, right? They have stood in the position of having, you know, a bad physique if they work with physiques, having bad health if they now a health coach, you know. So I think that's something that you really are doing well to your clients, is always learning. And as you also said, like earlier today, like you're still a student of life. We all are, right? So I think that's a very good frame of you to kind of have. So, but it's really interesting the way that you kind of frame it with the being too comfortable, because I think that's something that, again, back to, you know, the health stuff, like people are too comfortable. It's like too easy to buy food now. You don't have to go out and hunt for food. You can just go on your phone, order something, takeaway, there you go. 10 minutes, it's gonna be there. And I think that's, people are just way too comfortable. And I think going out and chasing that uncomfortableness is really important, like in today's society.
100%, I couldn't agree more. And as you said, like I'm so happy that my thought processes are more so, okay, I'm comfortable, I don't want to be comfortable, I want to search for something hard, than just kind of settling down with that comfort. So I'm very, very happy. But also back to, as I told you, obviously this is not how it's always been, right?
Yeah.
I've been in that position as well, where I always pick the comfort over the uncomfortable. So yeah.
Yeah. No, but I think that's also something that I'm trying to do like this year as well, because I used to do powerlifting, kind of got into like bodybuilding a little bit. Now I kind of dabble in between, and I just noticed that it's like I always look forward to the gym, like so much.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, how can I kind of make this hard? Okay, I got to do some cardio. Maybe I'll do some, if I hit pull-ups, okay, I'll do some pull-ups and kind of get strong in that. As you saw today, I tried to do some muscle-ups.
Yeah,
Doesn't really work out too well.
Always challenging yourself. That's good.
Always trying to like get better in and always making it so it's like it's hard to do things, right?
Yeah.
And I know David Goggins, he talked about this part in the brain. I don't remember exactly what it's called, but like the part that every time you do something hard, you kind of train this even better and better. So his is probably fucking huge, right?
Yeah, the willpower muscle.
Yeah, the willpower muscle, right? And I think training that is really important as well.
100%. I fully agree, and that's probably the repetitions that people aren't doing enough of in today's society, right?
Yeah.
Even if you're going to the gym and stuff, that can still be considered like fun, and to be honest, it's not that hard to, pick up some weights and do some curls or whatever.
Yeah, the pump, it's beautiful.
Yeah, exactly. So doing actual hard things is what people should be doing more of.
Yeah, I agree as well. So how long have you now been posting, on socials? Because you're doing really good for yourself, like organically on social media. You're popping off everywhere. You're starting to do some YouTube now. You're doing some Instagram. Are you on TikTok as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. How long have you been posting?
I've been posting for, I will want to say 1.5 years now. Around there. I started out with a challenge as well. Back to kind of what we said. I wanted to do a challenge. I wanted to do something hard, and this was back when I worked my 9 to 5 as well. So I started with doing or documenting 75 hard. You know what 75 hard is?
Yeah, I've heard
Yeah. So I did that, and if any of you guys don't know what it is, it's basically 2 45-minute workouts. One has to be outside a day. Drink water, read 10 pages, and like it's a self-development, self-improvement challenge. But on top of that, I decided to also document the whole process. So that's how I started. My first objective before starting that was I wanted to build a clothing brand. That's why I started the content in the first place. Yes, but pretty quickly realized that. Yeah, there's a lot of money that has to be I have to
invest a lot of money.
Yeah, invest a lot of money, and I was like, with like no guarantee, that was a bit scary. And then naturally, after my kind of 75 hard, people started to get interested in kind of the way I trained, with incorporating a lot of like functional style movements, with the kind of classic bodybuilding style hypertrophy, and naturally people started to want me to help them with training and stuff. Obviously, at this point as well, I had my PT certificate, so I'm not just self-claimed coach.
Yeah.
I've actually went to school for this as well, so I'm a certified personal trainer and also a nutritionist. So
nice.
Yeah, I had the kind of long-term vision of eventually getting into the gym floor, because that's what when I got into the gym, okay, this is pretty funny. This is actually probably something I would want to work with, right?
Yeah.
But very quickly also realized that if I'm gonna spend 1 hour every other week with someone, the results that I'll be able to deliver is very, very capped, very, very capped.
Yeah.
And with that in mind, kind of just ditched that kind of thought, because is it worth it then? No. Then once again started to get a bit of traction. People started to get interested, and I'm like, okay, let's just apply my knowledge, the knowledge that I have in my backpack, and that's how it started.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
And you're doing really well for yourself there now. And I think it's nice that you also have like that mindset of, okay, you wanted to take the long route. You have some educational background as well, because as I said, like there's a lot of people just blow up on social media, and then they're like, okay, I'm a coach, by the way, come here, I'll make some money off you. But it's good that you it's easy to tell if people are like authentic or if they're just in it for some cash or whatever. And I think it's easy to tell for people that you're actually authentic about it and that you actually care about this stuff. And I think that's credits to you as well for having that passion in you as well to actually help people.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah. So what are your goals now for like social media, posting, growth-wise? Do you have any goals in mind for now? It's 2025. Have you set like any goals?
Yeah, just spread the vision, spread the word, turn as many people into superhumans as possible. No,
Yeah.
but some main goals. I mean, I think I don't really have a cap to my goals, if that makes sense. Now I'm gonna explain what I mean. As I told you earlier today as well, I want to leave as big of an impact into this world as possible. That's my kind of main objective. And obviously with that comes helping as many people as possible, right? So that's my like main goal that I obviously then want to work towards. And under that goals are a couple different sub goals, right? Yes, how should I get my word out there? Well, it has to be through probably content, right?
Yeah.
Spread the word. So posting content, growing my online presence, and just providing value and helping as many people as possible. Absolutely smashing the Ironman is one big goal as well. And then we'll never know what future has in store for us, but hopefully it's gonna be good.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, if you work hard, then of course it's gonna be good, right? If you keep being uncomfortable and keep growing, then of course you're gonna do well. So what do you think? So you mentioned that you like want to leave a big impact on the world. Why do you think you have that goal in you? Have you like ever thought about it?
No, actually I haven't. It's a very, very good question, but I think it ties back to my own journey and understanding that people don't know how good they can feel. I want to be what's like bridging the gap of being where they are today and getting to the point to where they're like life is just amazing. Like they feel healthy, they feel alive, they feel awesome, no brain fog, no problems whatsoever, no pains. Because people don't know how it feels to be there. Therefore, someone has to, or have to, literally just take them from the bad spot, put them into the good spot.
Yeah.
And it ties back to just own experience, I would say. Understanding that if you're just a normal person, you're probably walking around on like 40% of your capacity, and that's probably a bit like
stretch. Yeah.
Yeah, a bit of a stretch. It's probably less, to be honest. And you don't know how good you can feel. And I just think that the world would be such a better place if everyone is walking around on like a high vibrational frequency and just feeling amazing. Yeah. I think it's just, the world would be a completely different place. And if I can do anything in my power to kind of get that vision out and bring it to life, I'm willing to do it.
Yeah, that's great. Actually, one thing I also want to talk to you about a little bit is, because I see you sit with the glasses on.
Yeah.
They're like blue light blockers, right?
Yeah.
Is it for sleep and like to optimize your sleep?
Yeah, it is. And also, so I have two different ones. I have these ones, which is like daylight glasses, which they doesn't block everything. And then I have proper like red ones, which are for nighttime. But exactly, it's for sleep. And sleep is one of these things where, like, if you optimize your sleep, shit, your life is gonna be 10 times better than it is right now. It's also one of the most common, I guess, problems people have is actually sleep. I don't know about you. You're a busy guy as well. Tell me, how's your sleep going?
Dude, I have the Whoop.
Yeah.
So I'm actually trying to like dial in on the sleep. I have some blue light blockers as well. I don't use them all the time, but getting the Whoop was like one of the biggest thing for me, because before I got this, I was like, okay, I'll sleep 8 hours and it's gonna be fine, right? Yeah. And then I got it and I'm like, what the fuck, 40% recovery, what's going on here? Even though I was sleeping good. And then I really realized that, okay, if I eat, tied up to my bedtime, okay, it's gonna fuck up my sleep. And then if I drink a lot of water, okay, I got piss in the middle of the night, it's fucking up my sleep. And now I've really, really realized that, again, kind of as you talked about, because I have kind of peaked my health and felt really good. And then of course it goes down, especially like as an entrepreneur. You have stress, you have some days where it's late nighters. And I really realized that the sleep is so important. Like I have to sleep, I have to optimize for sleep now. Because again, like long-term thinking as well, being able to like do this shit for 10, 20 years, right? I think there's a lot of young entrepreneurs that's gonna hit a wall after like a year because they just don't optimize for these kind of stuffs.
And what you have to understand there as well is, this is a common problem amongst all the entrepreneur guys that I work with as well, is they feel like, okay, but if I can push through 3 hours more or 3 hours of more work in the night, that must be good, right?
Yeah.
Maybe right now, if you have to get something done, but you also have to understand that sacrificing your sleep is then gonna like fuck up your cognitive ability and mental clarity tomorrow and the day after that as well. So your work output after that is gonna be so patched.
Yeah.
So it's always worth it optimizing that, because that's basically leading to you optimizing everything else then as well, like cognitive ability and just mental clarity and just having laser sharp focus for the rest of the day. And quality is always going to be better than quantity.
Yeah. Well, that makes total sense. And I think that's something that I've really, realized that like, okay, I'll take 2 more hours to sleep, work 2 hours less, but the next day I'll catch up on that work because I'm so focused, right? I'm so dialed in on it. I think that's a really big thing for it as well. So what are some tips that people can like use and I can use to like optimize my sleep even more?
Yeah. So first of all, are your blue light glasses tinted like this, or is it just?
Mine are like normal glasses.
Okay, then they don't work. You've been scammed. That's the first thing. The problem with those are that they block blue light, but they block blue light from the sun. So it doesn't block the wavelength of light that comes from the screens.
Okay, yeah.
So you have to get some proper blue light glasses. That's number one. But that's this is only a band-aid, because obviously the best is to, shut off all the lights, don't stare into the wall and chill when sun sets. That's not realistic for a lot of people. So we have to understand that that's a kind of band-aid, or it's putting a band-aid to it's not fixing the root cause.
Yeah.
Obviously, basically, same thing with me when I have calls with clients in Australia or in US. I have to stay up late as well. And in these situations, it's even more important to have like a proper sleep routine and to do everything in your power to optimize it, because you're not having like an ideal setup, right? In that case, blue light blockers are like non-negotiable in my opinion. Having a proper red light panel, getting some red light is amazing as well for sleep.
Do you take that like before bed or?
Yes, to be honest, like now in winter time back home in Sweden, I blast it 24/7.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's very, very good before sleep. Then what we can do as well is to put on some like theta waves or deep sleep brain waves. So there's a very good playlist on Spotify actually.
Okay.
It's called like brain waves sleep or something like this. You want to shuffle that, because this is going to help you to enter like a deep sleep or a REM sleep quicker. You want to put that on sleep timer, 1 hour. Then you want to make sure that you shut off your phone, no airplane mode, and then Wi-Fi and Bluetooth has to be ticked off, because electromagnetic frequencies affect your sleep a lot as well. So eliminate EMFs. Try to have like no electricity around you in your room. In Dubai that's pretty hard, but do your best. Get some proper red light glasses. Shuffle a good playlist with some good high frequency sounds. Also, what I like to do is to do a little like calming, relaxing breath work before going to sleep as well.
Yeah.
So that usually helps you to kind of get your nervous system out of the sympathetic towards the parasympathetic nervous system, which is basically the rest and digest. Stress and managing your stress levels plays a huge part as well. Some other things we can do is to make sure we are first of all getting some sunlight in the morning. So that's actually when the bed routine starts. It starts in the morning. Getting some sunlight in the morning. Also doing some slight like cortisol spiking activity first thing in the morning is very, very, very beneficial as well. That's why I always recommend for entrepreneurs, they should be working out in the morning. Because of the fact that when we trigger or when we get a bit of a cortisol spike in the morning, this is what's going to determine then when the cortisol also starts to taper off,
Okay.
and when the melatonin production starts to happen. So if you like wake up, computer immediately, you don't do any physical activity, this is also going to mess up your sleep a lot. So that's, I guess, the major tips that I have. Yeah.
So how long, like in the morning for workouts, how long do you usually have to like work out? Is it just like spike it, like fucking do some jump ropes?
Yeah,
or?
you can do some jump ropes, like go do some 100, 200 push-ups, something like this.
Yeah.
You just want to get your heart rate up a bit and get a bit of a spike. It doesn't have to
Yeah.
be crazy. Like you don't have to go for an hour workout.
Yeah. Okay.
But just just simply go for a walk, a bit faster walk. Then you're probably taking off the sunlight as well. So then
Yeah.
you get both in two birds in one stone.
Yeah.
So that's what I would recommend.
Oh, that's perfect. And what about the breath work that you just mentioned as well? Like, how, do you have like a typical like structure there, like 10 minutes of just any type of breath work, or do you have like any go-to?
No, so when it comes to breath work, there's a couple of different routes we can take. We can do one that is like pretty intense,
Yep.
and also variants that are more, I guess, calming. In the evening, you don't want to do the intense one.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
want to be doing the calm ones. So
Yeah.
what I usually do is something called HRV breathing, which is basically you breathe in with your nose. So, and then you want to imagine you have a bit of a straw like between your lips that you blow air out of. So like a small opening with your mouth, and be like, and then you slowly let everything out, and then in with the nose, out through the straw. This is going to really calm yourself down. So when I lay in bed, I do this a couple rounds. I don't really time it anymore. Like now it's such a like installed habit for me. So yeah, I just do it a couple rounds, maybe 10, 20 rounds or something, and then I pass out.
Yeah. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I've been trying to like get some reading done before bed as well. Just to, like, cause, dude, before, like when I started out as an entrepreneur, I went to bed and I was getting a phone call. I was like answering like team in the middle of the night and shit. It was the fucking worst when I look back. Like I literally remember I woke up at like 12. I maybe went to bed at like 10. I woke up at 12 and I was like checking my phone because I was so stressed that, okay, clients have answered me or like the team needs help or whatever.
Yeah.
So like it's definitely important to have a good like routine when it comes to all that.
Yeah, to be honest, reading before bed is the worst thing in my opinion, or I can't do that. No, because I get so creative by reading. Like that's when I get all my like good ideas and stuff. And getting that before bed, then my mind is all over the place. So that's not a good thing in my opinion. Or I mean, everyone is different, right?
Yeah, of course.
It doesn't work for me. If it works for you, fantastic. But yeah, because I get, as I said, just ideas just.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's really interesting actually, because I think I heard someone like, I don't know if it was like Huberman or something,
Yeah.
that said like, yeah, you shouldn't read before bed. And then some people say, oh yeah, read to relax before bed. You know, I think I think it's actually really true what you're saying there, because like the mind kind of wakes up and be like, okay, yeah, this is, especially if you're reading something like learning.
Yep.
So I guess that kind of also comes down to what you're reading. Like if you're reading some laid back stuff, then maybe it's all right. But what should I do then? Like when I'm going to bed, should I just stare at the wall for an hour, or do?
Yeah, no, you should get some proper blue light blockers. That's the first thing you have to sort there. You wanna also do some, like I would do some meditation or some do some meditation and kind of breath work too in one go. I would argue is good. Then I mean, obviously the best thing is going to be to not sit and stare into the screens.
Yeah, yeah.
But do some meditation, some breath work. Just do everything you can to kind of calm yourself down.
Yeah.
Where in Dubai are you living? Are you living close to the beach?
Yeah, I was living at the Palm actually before I got here.
Yeah. So what I would also do, if you're able to, is to get down on the beach and do some grounding. That's going to help massively with your sleep as well.
Yeah, I actually did. I started like going on morning walks on the beach.
Yeah.
So I just went down and I just walked on the beach for like 30 minutes or so, and then I actually felt like so good when I did it.
Yeah.
It's like a small run in the morning there.
Yeah, so I would try to do that a couple minutes in the evening as well, because that's going to help you to kind of decharge all of the bad radiation and Wi-Fi and 5G, whatever that's being built up inside of you. So that's going to help massively as well.
Yeah, makes sense. So when it comes to like I have actually a question that I also want to get your point of view on, like when it comes to like diet stuff.
Yep.
And we already touched a little bit upon it, but when it comes to like fruit, do you have like any recommendations on how much fruit, this and that? And because I feel like I feel like meat and fruit is like the go-to, like at least from my point of view, and it's not the best, but like that it's healthy, right? Do you have like any specific recommendation how much should one person get to like get their micronutrients up as well?
Not really. I always argue that like the more the better,
Okay.
usually for most people, but
Yeah.
like it depends on how like, or no, I think the more fruit the better for most people,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Same thing there as with everything. You want to have quality as well,
Yeah,
so make
yeah.
sure you have organic and the best that you can get your hands on.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna like ensure that you get the most like nutrient dense stuff in you as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's of more importance than the amount, right?
Makes sense.
Want or quality over quantity. Yeah. Also, if we want to be really optimized, there are two, I guess, the best fruits that you can eat, especially with meat, because it's such a high, or in most cases it's pretty high in fat, right? The best things you can have then is, in my opinion, papaya and pineapple, because they have a digestive enzymes within them that is going to help your body to absorb the protein better.
Yeah.
So if we want to be really optimized, that's kind of also not the only, but the preferably those are the ones you should pick from when you eat meat combined with fruit also. That's why today when we went to the to open house, advise you to take papaya
Yeah. What was it? Papaya
and pineapple.
oh, pineapple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's good. That's really interesting. That's something that like there's like so many like small stuff that I feel like how should I know this stuff, right?
Yeah.
It's really nice. Is there anything else you feel like you want to touch upon when it comes to like the health and that kind of aspect of it?
Just in general, the best things and the kind of the message that I try to put out into this world is also that the best things you can do for your health is usually just like it's the basics.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it. Like eat good quality, ideally locally produced, organic
Yeah.
food. Make sure that you are aligned and connected with nature. That's a huge one as well. People are so stressed, whatever. Nature really helps you to kind of de-stress and helps you to be, once again, like aligned rather than the opposite to aligned,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
So back to that, and we have to understand that like stress and all these things, you want to do everything in your power to work against that, because that's what's going to accumulate into like bad things inside of you and in your health.
Yeah.
Same thing with sleep. Don't like accumulate a lot of sleep debt. Make sure you're dialing in your sleep, optimizing your sleep, even if your setup is not perfect, as we just talked about. You want to have all the right protocols in place to help you to get the best quality you can with what you have to work with, right?
Yeah.
And de-stress as much as possible.
Yeah.
That can be a very hard one as well, but so important.
Yeah.
Don't overcomplicate it.
Yeah. No, that's really what I realized like coming down here as well. Like from Dubai to Bali, it's like the stress factor is just like so low here compared to there.
Yeah.
There is, stressing here, stressing there. It's like so many like inputs all the time. Here is like it's nature. You have fucking green stuff here, and it's just you get in touch with nature a bit more, and I really enjoy that about being on Bali as well. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing, and what people have to understand is we as humans are electrical beings, right? So when we are healthy, we have a negative charge inside of us, right? Earth has a positive charge. And obviously, if you know anything about like magnets or whatever, plus and minus, with all the bad stuff that's happening to us, Wi-Fi, radiation, stress, all these things, we are building up a positive charge within our bodies. And what happens with positive and positive?
Yeah, they go away from each other.
Yeah. So you want to be doing all the things in your power to kind of get yourself down towards a negative electrical or state through things as grounding and just de-stressing and being aligned with nature. that's generally just my biggest advice to absolutely everyone, because it's in being in this positive, like, charged state where I would argue that 99.99% of people's problems, diseases, sicknesses, whatever illnesses comes from, right? Everything stems from there. It just shows in different forms in different people.
Yeah, all that makes total sense. And Anton actually told me as well that you guys are doing another thing I want to touch upon here, like cold plunges and stuff.
Yeah.
You're doing cold plunges a lot? Do you do it like daily or?
Yeah, daily. Back home, it's easy. Just go down to the river and jump in the freezing cold water.
Yeah. So you do them daily?
Yeah.
For how long? And tell us a little bit about the benefits as well.
So, to be honest, I think sauna has more benefits than cold plunging. But I think the biggest benefit you get from that is to, once again, back to what we spoke about earlier, doing something that's challenging for your mind.
Yeah.
No one want to jump in a cold shower the first thing they do in the morning, or a cold bath. So that's where I think you get the most, like, ROI out of it, right?
Yeah.
Challenging your mind. Of course, cold shock proteins helping you to reduce inflammation and speed up recovery and increase blood flow and all these things, right? But that's where the majority of the benefits stems from, in my opinion.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense, man. I think we're probably getting to an hour here. What's the time looking like, Anton?
52 minutes.
Yeah.
52 minutes, so I think we're about to round off here as well.
Yeah.
Is there anything else you want to touch upon?
No, I just have a couple questions to you as well. So you asked me about my goals or my big dreams. I want to hear it from you as well. What's your big goals going into 2025?
Yeah, that's a really good question, man. And I think I'm still trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I haven't really figured out what my goal, and I don't like, I just set goals and I kind of hit them whenever I hit them.
Yeah.
If it's 2025 or 2026, or whatever, 2030, whatever. But my big goal for this year is, so like my personal goal, first of all, is just to get more in touch with who I am as a person, kind of get to know myself better. And I think that's something that's really underestimated in today's society, because you get so many inputs from, like, the phone, the social media, everywhere. You almost get to a point where you think you should be something that you're not. So I feel like my main personal goal is, like, getting in touch with who I am, like, initially inside of me. Who am I actually meant to be? And that's a very hard thing to do, because it's very hard to, like, separate who you are compared to who you think you should be in one way. So I think coming to Bali is, like, one of those things as well, like, that's kind of on my path to kind of getting to know myself a bit more. And that sounds like such, like, a fucking monk thing to say, but it's true. Like, I feel like that, and that's one big personal thing. And when it comes to, like, business and everything like that, I also have, like, the same vision as you have when it comes to helping people in a way, because I feel like, but not of course in fitness, but more towards, like, business and also their life in general, like money-wise, lifestyle-wise. So, I help people basically start their businesses, help them scale their business. If it's a coach or if it's just someone that wants to start their own marketing agency, I kind of help with both of them. And the biggest thing for that is back to, like, the vision, is that I see, especially I'm from Norway, right? And I went to Norway and I walk around the streets and everyone is sad. Like, of course I'm generalizing here, but I just see no one is smiling. Everyone is just, like, with a frown on their face, and just it seems like they're hating their life.
Yeah.
And I've spoken as well to a lot of people, back home, and they're like, yeah, it's tough, it's hard, I don't know what I want to do. And a lot of young people come to me and they're like, damn, what should I do with my life? I don't know what to do. It's like, what should I do with my life? Should I go study here? And they kind of ask me about it, like, should I go study here, or should I start my own business there, or what should I do? And it's like, back to the thing about knowing yourself, it's very hard, especially when you're young. And in Norway, I feel like it's like so, like, in a box, right?
Yeah.
There's no one telling you that you can actually chase your dream, that you can actually do shit, that you can go to Bali, fucking hang out with people like yourself, right? And I think kind of that's one of my biggest things, like, for this year, anyways, like, building my personal brand to actually show people that you can actually chase your dreams. You can get good at some things. Like, for me, it's like marketing. You can get good at one skill, and then you can just teach people, help people kind of get better at whatever they want to get better at, and then kind of. That was a bit all over the place, but yeah, just help people.
Yeah, but I love it. I love it. It's pretty funny, because me and Anton actually talked about that a bit yesterday. We were like, what's actually happening here. Like we're in Bali,
Yeah.
like working,
Yeah.
chilling, just doing amazing things with amazing people, and like everyone is back home and just hating their life,
Yeah.
and it's really sad when you think about it. And this, it ties back to what I said to you as well. Like I want to help people basically reach their full like physical and
Yeah.
mental capacity, because people walking around having a smile on their face is gonna do so good for the world compared to, as you just said, people walking around sad, angry. Yeah.
No, I 100% agree. So I think like that's one of my biggest goals when it comes to like business. Just keep scaling, keep helping more and more people, keep helping and building cool businesses as well, and just solving problems really.
Yeah.
While just getting to know myself better as well.
This is the game we're playing now, instead of or being on the screens playing Fortnite, FIFA,
Yeah.
or whatever you said you do. Like this is, now we're playing the game of life. So
Yeah, exactly. And that's how I also look at it. Like instead of leveling up, in a video game, you just level up in real life.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Awesome, brother.
Yeah. Thank you so much for watching the podcast, and thank you
Yeah.
so much for coming along.
Yeah,
It was
thanks for having me along. It was really good.
Yeah, it was awesome. We'll see if we can do one more as well later down the line. It was awesome talking to a Swedish brother.
Yeah.
First international guest
Yeah.
on the podcast as well.
Good stuff, brother.
Good stuff, bro.
Amazing.
Nice.